All right, let's dive into AWS Bedrock here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, get right into it. Now, with Bedrock, what's kind of interesting about it is that you can do a lot from the console. I think that's probably the biggest takeaway here is the console is where you do a lot of the work. I think it's in Ohio or Oregon. And if we look at Bedrock, here we go. We can see which region. Okay, it's in Oregon. So look, we have new regions now, which is pretty cool. We have Europe, US West, Asia Pacific, Tokyo, Asia Pacific, Singapore, and US East, North Virginia. Let's do North Virginia. This is pretty cool. Okay, if we go ahead and we get started here, we can take a look at some of the things that you can do with Bedrock. And you can see that what's different about Bedrock versus maybe using one vendor is that you get all of these different foundation models. And so you can see that we've got, what is this, AL or AI 21, probably labs. We have Amazon itself. We have Anthropic. We also have this company, Cohere. We have Stability AI. So we have lots of different examples here, which is pretty cool. And if we go into the example section here, what's neat about this is that we've got tons of different examples, and we have the inference configuration as well that's listed. So we have lots of ways that you can play around with it. So let's pick this content generation, for example. You can see here that it shows me the API request that I would make. So I could actually, if I wanted to, just curl this. Now, if we look at the base models here, we can see here that there's a total of 10 so far. We've got Claude V1, we've got Claude V2, we have Claude Instant, and then we also have Command, and this is a generative LLM. Command can generate text-based responses based on prompts, which does look kind of interesting here to see what this does. If I select this and I go to Command here, you can see here it shows us the API request. Write a LinkedIn post about starting a career in tech. If you wanted to be a LinkedIn influencer, here you go. Here's your start. And if we go ahead and we click on View Examples, we can see even more information about it right here. Now, if we go to custom models, what's kind of interesting is you can adapt a pre-trained model to do specific tasks here by providing your own labeled data, which does sound kind of interesting. So if we said fine-tune model, how would this work? We could pick, for example, choose from a list of models you want to customize with your own data. I'm not sure how you would do that. Maybe I would have to actually first, open in Playground. After a model is created, you need to purchase provision throughput to load a model. So you go here, select a model, Amazon, this one, model units. Pretty interesting. So it looks like there is also the ability to fine tune it here. And then in terms of providers, again, we have all the different providers as well. The playgrounds, I think, are probably the easiest ways to get started. We have the chat-based playground here. So if we go to, this is interesting, fine-tuned models. There's no models available. But if we go to AI 21, we go to Jurassic, maybe Ultra. Let's pick that one. And we can update inference configuration. So we can actually tweak this a little bit and pick more randomness and diversity. Also add stop sequences. So there's some pretty interesting little tweaks here. October, what is the weather in Spain in October? If we run this, it gives us some good information. And then if we go to text here as well, we can also figure out there's some things that we can play around with text as well. Command, write something. What is the weather like in Spain in October? And we run this. And then we can look at the API requests as well. So I guess the thing that would be interesting is to go to user guide next here and see how to use the API. And in terms of using the API, what do we've got here? So we've got, you can make API calls through the following SDKs. So there's C++, there's Go, there's Java, JavaScript, .NET, Python, and Ruby. Kind of a bummer they don't have Rust here, which would definitely be pretty cool. Now, this actually might be the way to go, is to do Amazon Bedrock CLI commands. That's probably going to be the easiest way to go here. So let's try this actually real quick. I got a few minutes. So if I go to the console, a lot of people don't know how powerful the AWS console is, but I would say this is probably one of the best use cases for the AWS CLI is to actually test out services like this. And so if we go to Bedrock, we can say list custom models, and we can actually go to AWS. It's kind of a bummer they don't give you the whole like example, but let's do this. We'll type in AWS Bedrock list custom models. So AWS Bedrock -- help. So operation. Let's add Bedrock list. What is it again? It is list custom models. Let's try that. So Bedrock. Pretty cool. Okay, so that actually is not bad, right? We can now, if I just type in AWS Bedrock, kind of curious, what does it give me? If we say help, oh, there we go. Look at this. So I think this, in my opinion, is probably the way to go for experimenting with Bedrock before you even touch an API or an SDK. Like, why not just use the CLI to do it? Now, if we say get custom model list foundation models, that's the one we care about. So if I go here, we can actually do that. AWS Bedrock list foundation models. There we go. And we can see all the different foundation models here. And we can see, does it support fine tuning, which is pretty cool, right? So we can see all of the information about the different foundational models here available directly from the CLI. Now, the next thing I'd like to do would be to actually do some kind of inference. And so if we said from creating and managing models, get model, get foundation model. What does that do? So if we say get foundation model, that would be kind of cool to figure out how to actually use the inference to actually do something. I don't know if they have that yet though. Bedrock, we have get model, get provision model throughput. It looks like it's more of, at least this particular one looks like it's just managing versus doing inference. So you may not be able to actually do inference via the Bedrock API, which is definitely interesting. If we go to this, let's see if we can look at all the different commands. So no, that's not it. if we go to Bedrock CLI commands, we can see create model. Yeah, I don't see anything here that shows me that I can do inference. But I'm sure as this thing gets more developed, you'll be able to do more things with it. So I think that's a good place to stop for Bedrock today, and we'll call it a day.